So wouldn't that be great if we adopted that spirit in every aspect of our lives? Life just enriches for you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Agnes Coaching, Grateful Mind. My series of happiness transformation, the main purpose is to learn how to go for the path of happiness. So today, I'm very, very happy to have my special good friend, Miss Sherrin Western. And she's going to share with you some tips. Definitely, it will really enrich our mind because she has a way to show us how to connect with people authentically so we can also gain happiness as well. Now, let me introduce Sherrin's background. She is the owner of Shervin Communications Company, expert in marketing, brand image, and graphic design for 30 years, National Volunteer of the Year for Canadian Women in Communications in 2004, Women of Distinction in Burnaby, BC in 2002, Influential Women in Business, one of 20 finalists in 2000, Top 100 Fast-Growing Business List in Vancouver, list in the business in Vancouver as one of the top graphic design agency in BC. What can I say more? She is really excellent in her expertise and in her industry. So let's welcome Sherrin.
Hi, everybody, and thank you very much, Agnes, for having me on your webinar. I'm delighted to be here and to share a few stories or insights into how to make connecting with people a joyful experience and to make us feel better and happier as a result. It all started for me when I went to a workshop and somebody said, how many people like to network or meet new people? And nobody put up their hands. And I looked around the room and I thought, so I'm not the only person who's scared to meet new people. And that workshop confirmed for me that we all need some kind of way that actually makes us feel good to network with people, to meet new people, and to continue to nurture relationships with people. And that is where I have focused my energy for my volunteering. And in our business, we try to look at things always from the customer's perspective, from the other person's perspective. So whoever you might be talking with, thinking about them first, you second. And I know that seems probably simple, but it's much harder to implement in practice. So my job is to try and help people figure out how to make it more meaningful and easy for them to reach out to new people, whether it's in their personal lives or in their business lives. Meeting people is a bit of a science, and it's not a science. I guess it's a, let's say it's difficult at best. And there's things that we can do to make it easier. That's what I would like to be able to help people do. Our company has been around, as you said, for almost 30 years, and we are focused on helping people and companies portray their best selves, authentically be themselves. And companies can be authentic to their brand, and they can also not be authentic. And that, as a consumer, is very noticeable. We notice when a company isn't seeming to be what they say they are. So the goal for me is to try and make sure that we are always being true to ourselves, honest with our customers, honest with our coworkers and the ones we love. So those are things that each of us can take, again, whether it's your personal life or your work life, we can take that and make that a very important and regular part of our connections. So I've got some ideas and thoughts on how to create that networking exchange where you actually meet the person and you connect with them. And you, if you've done it right, you want to stay in contact with them forever. You want them to be a permanent part of your network. So that's always my goal.
Today, she's going to share happiness through authentic connections with people.
There's a whole lot of information about how to create those connections effectively. And we can't go into all of them today, but there are a couple that are, to me, the key points that not only can you use it in a business environment, but it's very useful in your personal environment too. So I will focus on those ones for the purposes of our conversation today. The first one is about being a host. I have found in life that there are two kinds of people. There are hosts and there are guests. What I've seen in my time on this planet is that a whole lot more people want to be guests than want to be hosts. We need more hosts. So what is a host? Well, if you think back in your personal life to a party that you might have gone to, and the person who invited you, that person is the host. Now, good hosts, they think about things that you and I don't even think about as going and being a guest. A host thinks about, what people should I invite to my party that I know will have the best kind of meaningful conversations with each other. So you think about what their backgrounds are and what they do for a living and what their hobbies are. And then you try and bring some people who are matches to those things. And then a good host also says, okay, I want everybody to have a good time. So they will think about having refreshments and food and comfortable chairs and maybe nice background music. And they might send you an invitation to the party, and then they might send you a follow-up at the end of the party. And the whole time you're left feeling like, man, that Agnes, she knows how to throw a great party because they've thought of so many of the details. And just when you think, oh, I need to put this glass down or I need to go get another drink, voila, there's Agnes offering you another beverage. That's a good host. A good host pays attention to all the details before the event, during the party, and after the party. She might have to go around and go, oh, someone left their coat, and phone and let everybody know, I found a coat here. Is this your coat? So they're focused on ensuring that the event and the experience for all of the people who come to the party is meaningful. Wouldn't that be great if we adopted that spirit in every aspect of our lives?
Definitely.
When you get into the elevator, be the host. Invite people in when the doors open. Say, come on in. What floor can I press for you? That way, we're in service rather than expecting to be served. And when you're in service, I have to tell you, and I know your channel is about gratitude, Agnes, and that for me is the whole center of everything to do with connecting with people. If you're grateful for the experiences and you show gratitude for the encounters that you have with people, life just enriches for you. And when you have an enriching life, I think you're also more able to give that back to people. And as a host, that's all you want to do. Now, with my company, I own the company, and yet the thing that my partner and I feel strongly about is always ensuring that we wear the hat of the servant. We want to be in service to our customers. And a lot of people say, well, that makes you feel like you're not as good as them. You're not as important as them. And I believe that if you act in the role of service, your customer or your friend or your loved one, whoever you are dealing with, will see you as their equal because you're so kind. And that, I think, is a driving point for, again, being a host. The thing about a host is that they worry about other people, not themselves.
Mhm.
And while, there's differing levels of feelings out there about people being very self-centered, this host spirit doesn't allow for self-centeredness. It is always focusing on other people. I've read a lot of books on management, and it seems like in any management or sales type environment, what people maybe don't notice that they haven't called it something, but the people who are really good at selling or leading, what they know is they understand the power of permission.
Mm.
And let me explain that a little bit. What that means is I don't get to talk about me until I've heard about you. So we make ourselves second. And I can use an example, and this is a silly example, but it's so well or demonstrates the point. My husband is a musician.
Mhm.
Him and I went to a music store. We weren't really looking for anything. Kevin likes to stay on top of the, new things that are coming out in the technology. And so we like to go in. This one day, this young, maybe 20-year-old guy was selling in the store, and he came up to us. Now, I have to tell you a couple of things about my husband visually because it'll help to make you understand the story. He has long hair and he's a drummer. Now, this young man came up to Kevin, and I don't know if it was because of the long hair or what, but we were standing looking at an amplifier for the stereo system. And he came up to Kevin and he said, "Any chance you're a musician?" And I don't know if it was the long hair or what, but Kevin went, "Yeah, actually I am." And I think at that moment he stood a little taller, and it was like, oh, he knows I'm a musician. And then he said, "You want to hear that thing hurt your heart?" And I was like, "Hurt your heart? What? What does that mean?" So I was shocked that a salesperson would say, "Do you want to hear this hurt your heart?" And of course, my musician husband said, "Yeah, I want to hear it hurt my heart." So he plugged it in and turned it on and did all the things that he was supposed to do, and turned it on, and he turned it on really loud. And I tell you, the first time the drums kicked in, it actually did hurt my heart. Wow. And Kevin was loving it. And I was thinking, this is so stupid. Why are we doing this? That man, what you don't realize when you start hearing the story at the beginning, is like he didn't continue the conversation until Kevin said, "Yes. Yes, I am a musician." "Oh, okay. Well, would you like to hear more?" "Yes, I'd love to hear it hurt my heart." And you see, the beauty of waiting for permission is that when the person gives you permission, or when you give them permission to speak, the chances of you listening are much higher. And now you've got a meaningful exchange. This person feels like they're being heard, and you feel like it's a great conversation because you're learning such great stuff from this person. So that's the key, is making sure that you give permission to them before you ask for permission back. And how I say that is, ask questions. Don't be in a conversation to tell people about you. Be in a conversation to learn something about someone else. And when I tell people to try networking, I say, don't set the rule for yourself. Like, there's so many guidelines out there. If you read books on networking, they say, meet 10 people, exchange 10 cards, get 10 cards. It's all about numbers. And it's not about numbers. The number for me is one. I want to meet one cool person when I go to an event. And you might say, oh, only one person, that's not going to be worth it. But I can tell you, I can assure you that meeting that one person, you won't just have their business card. You will have had a meaningful conversation where you will have talked about, maybe where you went to school and your favorite kinds of music and the things that you like to do on vacation. And you will have a meaningful connection with this person. There's a there's a saying out there that says it's quality, not quantity.
Mhm.
That is exactly the point here.
Mm.
Because when you go home from a networking event and you've met one cool person and you know enough about them to feel like they are a new friend, you feel good about yourself. You feel like that was a successful evening. And that's the kind of feeling that you need to continue on and to want to go networking more and want to connect with people and meet new people more often. But if you go home and you've got those 10 business cards and you look at them and you go, oh, gee, I don't even remember these people. What a waste of my time. I don't feel like I got anything from this evening. So that's for me, that's the key. And asking questions is really easy because if you ask questions that aren't related to work, it's even easier.
Mhm.
Movies, trips, activities. What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? Where do you volunteer? All of those kind of things are the things that we remember. We don't remember if, let's say you and I are meeting each other, Agnes, and you ask me, so Sherrin, who are you? And I say, oh, I own Shervin Communications and we do graphic design and we make people look good in the marketplace. You go, oh, that's nice. And so when you come home, do you say, oh, I met a nice company tonight? No, you say, I met a nice person. And
Mhm.
so we want to make sure we talk about human things, not business things. And that's a very difficult thing to do in North America because the first question out of most people's mouths in North America when they meet somebody is what?
What are you doing?
What do you do? Exactly. You always make it about work.
Yes.
And really, that's not how you meet somebody. When
Mhm.
you want to meet somebody, you want to meet them, not what they do for a living.
Mhm.
And so if you can keep your questions always related to just being in the real world as a real person, not at work, then the answers are more meaningful. The connection is stronger.
Mhm.
One of the things that comes to mind that I always think is really powerful is follow up. Whenever you meet somebody, whether it's at a party where you were, in a non-work environment or at a business environment or a business meeting of any sort, is if you do a good job of connecting with one person, let's say, and you learn while you were talking with that person that they love to sail, they love to go sailing. That's a very important thing in their life. So, one of the things I do to help with this is that once I get home from a networking event or a party or whatever, if I've met somebody, I just make a note of the things that I remember about them. They like to sail, they've got two children, they don't like dogs, they're allergic to cats, or whatever those things might be that have come out in the conversation. First of all, me writing them down for myself proves that I was listening. So that's good. The second thing is that, a month from now, I'm not going to remember those things. So if I write them down and I put them in my customer file or however you keep track of your contacts, um, then the next time I talk to them, I can say, hey, how is your child? Or how was that last trip to wherever they went? Um, but more important than that is understanding that those are the things that you can now use as follow up. So you can actually, just out of the blue, maybe a month down the road, you're in a store and you see a magazine on sailing. And you think, oh my gosh, that would be perfect for that person I met who loves sailing. Buy the magazine and pop it in the mail with a little post it note that says, I saw this magazine. I thought of you. Look at the article on page 5 about taking your family on a big vacation on a big sailboat or something.
Mm.
No asking for business, No, no reference to, I want you to hire me, nothing. It's just, I thought of you and here's this magazine about sailing.
Yeah.
Those kind of things create deposits into your bank account, into your emotional bank account.
Yes.
And the more of those you can do, the more grateful and more meaningful the relationship with that person is. And again, selfishly, it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I feel good and I feel happy when I can do those kind of things for people.
Mm,
And when you've listened, you know those things that you can pick up on and actually action because you have listened.
absolutely. That's a very, very great sharing because I really feel this kind of personal touch is really bringing myself, happiness. But on the other hand, it's also in a way that bring happiness to another person because everyone loves to be important. Everyone loves to be remembered. I have picked up a lot of points from you. Today we have learned about really be a host and also have the host spirit. And also listening is always important. You already really helped me to remind myself as a host at the interview session, how do I listen as well? So the beauty of permission, listen to my guest first and then before I talk and then always follow up. Now, I would like you to share about your service. I really like to help your Shervin communication to promote and also get more people to know across the world. I mean, we have different kind of network and let them know, please.
Thank you. Well, as you mentioned earlier, and we've got Shervin Communications. It's a design and marketing firm. We have been helping companies create their brand image in the marketplace for that many years, and it becomes for us. It's about, well, our mantra is um, explore, create, brand. So our job is to explore your marketplace, explore your business, understand what you need, create what you need, whether it's brochures or social media campaigns or trade show booths if you're going to trade shows, or training manuals if you're doing training and it's face-to-face training. Anything that can be designed and printed, those are the kinds of things we do, whether it's for web or print. And the thing that we enjoy about our business is we know and we're honest with ourselves to say there are many great marketing and graphic design companies out there.
Mm,
Many. You can get pretty designs done anywhere. So why do they want to choose Shervin? I think they want to choose Shervin because we focus on the relationships. So for us, it's more about the exchange between you and I as we're working on your project than it is about the end result. Yes, the end result's very important, but it's only important if you've enjoyed the process. If as a customer you say that was the most painful process, I don't ever want to go through that again, then that we haven't done our job. And our job is to make you feel like this process was enjoyable, it was easy, it was on budget, and it was on time. That's our challenge, and we embrace it each and every customer.
mm. Okay, so you basically have a lot of variety of like marketing and also graphic design, different kind of services provide as well. Wonderful. And I can see you, both of you really enjoy the work with your staff as well. I'm very
Thank you.
lucky. I'm very lucky to know your company and also know
Oh,
you as well. Yeah.
well, and I must say, when it comes to listening and paying attention, you have done that yourself in many ways. I, I, I thought it was very sweet that you pick up on the point that I like purple, and so the poster was done in purple. And those are the kinds of things that I think your listeners can pick up on is that they don't have to be big things. They don't have to be big things that cost money. All they have to be is relevant and meaningful. And the person that you're giving them to will be so grateful because they feel like you thought of them
Mhm.
and what's important to me.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to do, and that's certainly what you do.
Thank you so much. Yeah. No matter it's for business or personal, anyone you really like to feel grateful and share your gratefulness, since my channel is about power of gratitude. So who do you like to feel grateful for? I would like to listen to.
Well, I'm grateful for all the people who have come before me and shared little nuggets of wisdom with me along the way. I've been blessed with many mentors,
Mm,
and some mentors were mentors and they didn't even know me, but they were my mentor. I watched their behavior, I watched their actions in public, and I've watched how they conduct themselves as business. And I always think about what would what would he do in this situation? And there's a number of people I really look up to. And some of them are celebrities even, and I think it's important to learn from everything and everyone around us.
mm,
I'm eternally grateful for my partner, who is also my husband.
mhm.
He is um, the clouds. He's the clouds, and I'm the ground. And together we sort of meet in the middle. He's a dreamer, and he allows me to be the what I call very you know, uh, what do you call that when it's very detail oriented? I want to make sure that the checklists are done and all those kind of things. And Kevin is more of the kind of person that says, hey, let's think about what we could create. And so between the two of us, I think we bring a nice balance to our company.
Mm,
And I'm really grateful for my puppies because they give me the emotional hugs, if you want to call them that, throughout the day when I'm working. And there's nothing more loving than being able to take care of a pet. So I encourage anybody to get pets. There is no way you can be angry or mad when you are stroking a cat or a dog or a bird or any kind of pet that you might have. When you are hugging them and loving them, you can't be in a bad mood.
they're
And
your
so
companion. They're your companion.
exactly. And sometimes they're your listening post. Sometimes they're the person who's, well, they don't know that they're doing this, but they're comforting you when you're sad. And so I'm very grateful for that.
Mm. I feel very thankful for having you today. So thank you everyone for watching my channel, Grateful Mind, Agnes Low Coaching. Please like, share, subscribe, and also turn on the notification bell as well. So next time, I'm going to introduce some other topic and with some other guests. I wish everyone a very nice week. So see you again. Bye-bye. Thank you very much, Sherrin. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.